Hey everybody, welcome to the final episode of our 1966 Ford Thunderbird Motorola T6SMS 8-track/AM radio restore. It's now complete with a few minor adjustments that I have left to do. But we're going to put up the final video and let's let you know where we've landed. You can hear 8-track is playing well. I've got it connected to a pair of Bose speakers there. Sounds good. Of course, our radio is working well as well. Let's change the channel so we don't get a copyright hit.
Club cart fees with a Dream 18 golf cart at great area golf courses like St. John's Golf and Country Club, Amelia River Golf Club. And
so there you go. She's running really well. So what I want to do is just kind of walk through what I've done to get it to where it is, and just share some of the other things with you. So let me get that set up. So we're starting off the video at the end here. So we're going to turn this off, and let me open it up, and I want to show you a few things before we wrap up. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to show you is around the 8-track player. So if you recall, when we took this thing apart, we revealed that the belt was rubbing on the motor housing. See those lines there? And after doing some investigation, I was able to figure out two things. One is that on the bottom of this capstan pulley, there's a piece of nylon that rests into the bed. And I'll show you a picture of it right here in that corner. And what happened is, as this thing was being used over the years, we've got to remember it's 55 years old or something like that, that piece of nylon wore out flat on the bottom. And when that happens, the pulley sinks down. When the pulley sinks down, it pulls the belt down, and that's why it was rubbing. So how did we solve it? Well, on the bottom of this pulley, where that piece of nylon goes in, we simply just added a washer. And I have a picture of it here. Let me show you. Right there. And what that does is it raises up the pulley. And when it raises up the pulley, it's just enough to create the clearance that we need so it doesn't rub. You can see there, if you look really closely, there's a space now where there wasn't a space before. So we've solved that problem. But also, this belt, I took a look at another radio, same radio, and the actual pulley that's on the motor has a top to it. This one didn't, and a bottom. This one only had a top; it had no bottom, so it was actually it was very easy for that belt to slide down. So what I did is I removed the pulley, turned it upside down, and then put a washer on top to create a true pulley. So now we have a top and a bottom, and this fits in there perfectly, and it can never ride down and touch the motor housing. So the belt's going to last a long time. So with the adjustment that we made on the flywheel and the adjustment that we made on the pulley, we never have to worry about this thing rubbing anymore. So that's good news. The other thing that we did in here is we did have some surface rust, if you recall, in here, and you're probably not going to be able to see that. We're going to pull this out a little bit, and maybe you could see it. We'll try. If you see that purple down there, we basically just use some rust reformer, and it turns purple, and it will neutralize the rust, and we won't have a problem. So that's the other thing that we did. So that's been completed. We also, on the bottom cover of the radio, there was rust. I don't need to show you that. Rust is rust. And I put the rust reformer on there as well. The other significant thing that we did on this was we replaced the dial glass. Here's the dial glass that came in the radio, and you may be able to see that it's got a crack in it. Let's see if we can demonstrate that. There it is. So it had a crack in it, so we had to replace it. So I took out my dial caliper and measured this thing, and it's a 2mm piece of plastic. It's not glass. And on Amazon, I was able to get a small sheet of 2mm plexi with a no melt point. That's important. So when you have no melt point, you can use a jigsaw to cut it. So I did that. And if you take a look at the front of the radio, right here, this is the replacement glass right here. It actually slips in from the front, not from the back. So I had to mold it perfectly to fit in, and I put just a tiny drop of glue in each corner. So it's in there perfectly. Now it's in great shape. You'll also notice our door. So the door for our 8-track has been completed as well. We ended up having to replace the black stripe, and I used some very thin black detail tape for that. And we used the foil that I told you I was going to do. And I actually did remove the door, and I put 4 coats of clear on it. So it's perfect. It's going to work out just fine. And we also put back that piece of cardboard that was there. If you recall, there was a piece of cardboard here that was wavy. I soaked it in warm water and then pressed it in a clamp overnight. Came out as straight as can be, and that's been reinstalled back in here as well. It's this darker piece that you see here. So this all has been completed. Everything's been put back together. Everything's been greased, lubed, cleaned. Everything works really well. There's only one thing that I'm going to continue to work on with this before I put it up for sale, and that's when you put the tape in first, you have to pull back just a little bit on the tape. Now, I have to take a look at the adjustments. I don't think it's the actual head. I have to understand if there's possibly a worn piece here that engages this side. There's also a guide that goes here. So I'm going to take a look at that and see if I can adjust it. But if I put the tape in like this and just gently pull back just a little bit, it plays perfectly. So that works out good. But aside from that, the radio is completed. We've also shined up with a couple of things with some of our Mother's Mag. And there's the cover I just dropped. And so far the bird's been quiet. Did you notice that? So here's the cover. We shined it. You can see it looks really good. You can actually read the writing that's there. And this thing's in great shape. One thing you'll notice right here, there was a little bit of rust coming through on the flywheel. I actually put some epoxy on it just so it seals it, so it doesn't get any worse. So our radio 8-track player is in great shape except for that one adjustment I need to make, which I will do after the video. It's now been recapped, replaced. All bad resistors have been replaced. This pulley mechanism has been fixed. The nylon bushing underneath the wheel has been fixed. And the radio's in great shape. So what are we going to do? How are we going to sell this thing? Well, once I have it complete, I'm going to produce a video that shows exactly what I've done to it and how it works. And it is going to go on eBay. And John and I have discussed it. John from Arkansas have discussed how we're going to sell this thing. Remember, this is for charity. So this is going to go to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it on eBay. It's going to have a buy it now of 400, and it's going to have a reserve of 350. And we're not in any rush, right? We got to remember this is going to be for kids. So it's a working radio. If you go on eBay right now and look for one of these, you'll find one right there, right now, for $400 that doesn't work. So it's not asking a lot of money for a unit that's been restored. So that's going to be the way we handle this. But I want to make sure that it's in tip-top shape first, obviously. If someone's going to spend money on this thing, we want it to work well. Of course, it'll be sold as is. It is a 55-year-old unit, and I can't guarantee all these parts are going to work forever. But they're working to the best of my ability at this point. So we're in great shape here. What we'll do is we'll put a video up for you guys first with the listing once it's up. So if any of you are interested in the radio, you'll have the link there to the eBay auction, and you'll be able to put a bid on it. So we'll give you guys the first crack at it on the channel. And, like I said, hopefully it goes well and we make money. So this has been a great experience. I want to thank John from Arkansas for having trust in me to do this. And I also want to thank Brendan. I guess I can call Brendan my electronics mentor. And a friend, of course. And Brendan helped me out in a few situations, moral support. So I want to thank both of those guys. And I want to thank all of you for watching and supporting the series on this. And we're going to be in great shape. I actually have one more of these that I'm going to restore. I actually found a really cheap one on eBay that somebody was selling, not working, for like $70. And it's actually cosmetically in better shape than this one. So we're going to restore that one off camera, and we'll put that one up for sale as well, and I'll donate a portion of the sale of that one to St. Jude's as well. So that's going to be something I do off camera. So that's the story on this. There's really nothing else to show you here that's really unique, except that the knobs have all been replaced and fixed and cleaned, and you'll see the front here looks really, really good. It's pretty sharp, and there is a plate right here that goes on it, which we'll put back in place, and that's going to be part of the auction. But you'll see that in the video that we produce for the auction. So thank you to everybody who's followed along. Stay tuned. We've got some other cool projects coming up on top of this one, and hopefully you'll be interested in it. So with that, Happy New Year, everybody, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.